So I pick up where.
Yes.
Anything you want to do.
Okay.
So, but don't forget to give us your background.
I will. I'll work that into this.
Okay.
He's a great storyteller.
I'm going to continue for a minute with what Leslie was talking about. 9/11, which we all remember. All you saw was a plane going into the building on television, one after the other. When Leslie and I met, oh, by the way, I'm an architect and a city planner. I started out in art and then decided to pursue architecture. And when Carol met me, I taught at Howard University for 27 years, architectural school. When she met me, she didn't know what I did. Most folks knew me as an architect, never as an artist. One of the reasons they never knew was because, like Leslie, I painted and created sculptures in the evenings. I only created enough to fill my environment, and then I'd stop. And sometimes I would stop painting for, like right now, I've stopped painting for 8 years, and now I'm going back at it again. When Leslie and I met, and she asked me about African architecture, and I had a book on African architecture. So the Wednesday night after 9/11, I decided to drive over here to bring the book to Leslie. Leslie tells me she's going to do an installation on Friday and wants to show me the drawings. Now, here's a difference between architectural education and art education. Architectural education, I would make my students tell me as much as they could about their design process before they picked up a pencil. That's different than art. Artists sometimes, as Michael said, will come up with the name of the piece after they have completed it. Architects work totally differently. We are charged with designing a facility, let's call it a building, in collaboration with the owner, and in many instances, engineers and contractors. So my midlife was more of collaboration than it was me being an artist and executing and doing everything. Architects will come up with the concept, then the engineers come in, and if the client doesn't have enough money, then obviously you've got to scale it down. So my architectural education prepared me to come into art, or come back into art, in a kind of different way. More philosophical initially than working. So when Leslie and I work together, it is more of a conversation in the beginning before we execute anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything, including food. Probably the thing that we collaborate on the most is food. I might start something like a couple of years ago, we were doing fundraising for Creative Alliance. Initially, I was doing salmon. Now, that's fine when you have 10 to 15 people. However, when it got up to 50 people, I'm not buying salmon and cooking salmon for 50 people. So Leslie and I started saying, well, what else can we cook? And the idea of chicken wings came up. So I created smoked chicken wings. Leslie tasted the smoked chicken wings. And you know what the next thing happened? She then develops a sauce to go on top of the chicken wings. In 2 weeks, we will prepare chicken wings and her potato salad for a Thanksgiving dinner that we've had with friends for at least 8 years now. These folks hide food. We walk into the house with the chicken wings and potato salad, the first thing that happens is that they start pulling out their take-home containers to fill those up before they sit down to eat. Okay? Now, in terms of what Leslie and I collaborate on the most now is jewelry. The lady got me hooked.
It's not my fault.
It was her fault. We went to Venice, and the first trip to Venice, I happened to see Venetian ladies walking around with Venetian pearls on, white t-shirts, sandals, and jeans, and they looked elegant. The next year, Leslie and I went back. I bought some Venetian pearls to make a necklace for Leslie, my deceased mother, and my daughter-in-law. I've never made those necklaces yet. Less than 3 months later, she takes me down to the convention center because they're having a bead and gem show. Now, there aren't a whole lot of African American men who are straight that do jewelry. When I go in there now, you know, it's like watching people watch me. You know, what's he doing? Why is he picking that up? Well, how much of that is he going to use? Can I have some of that? What are you going to do with all that? Do you have a shop? I get all these kinds of questions. Not, that's a nice thing that you're doing. It's glad to see that you're in here. You know, all of that. I get none of that. I mean, it's like, why are you in here making jewelry? I'm doing jewelry, ladies and gentlemen, because paintings aren't selling as well as my jewelry. Okay? You know, to be very, very honest with you, ladies, when are we having the show?
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
It's a plug.
Any of you ladies who, I saw one lady down there, I already see a couple of people. Well, there's one collector of ours at the end of the table already. There's another one up here, and there's a person that's sitting here beside me who's constantly wearing the jewelry.
The circle.
Which circle?
The one that's 2 steps back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, you know, those of you who like jewelry, please come back next week.
Yeah.
That is our significant collaboration other than the food. Hope you liked the installation. The top part came to us as we were driving back from Charleston, South Carolina, and stopped in Cracker Barrel.
Thank you.